Morning world, it's 10 to 9 in the morning on the 3rd of October. The Sun is about to square Pluto over the next 2 or 3 days. So in addition to what I normally do, I'm doing a little bit on Sun square Pluto. This is a direct quote from my book, which will be out in 1 month, on the law of Pluto, Reshaping the Void. Advance payment copies are available now. It'll be printed in October, but a cheap price copy is available now. Email me for details. Here we go. Sun square Pluto. The Sun represents one's basic sense of identity, uniqueness and individuality. It is the spark at the core of one's being, and it is the sacrosanct part of one's nature. The Sun astrologically demonstrates how you carry your energy into every situation of life. Any contact between the Sun and Pluto will invariably bring a great deal of intensity and depth into all different types of interactions with other and others. But when the aspect between the two is a square, the capacity for challenge is amplified. For example, it may indicate that there will be themes of constantly changing opposition or blockages in the person's life, where as soon as one problem is sorted, another of a similar form or nature props up to take its place. Over the years, by objective and detached reflection, a repetitive pattern of almost self-destructive potential may be seen, represented by constantly similar challenges arising from different environments and suggestive of a refusal to look at the side of oneself that to the rest of the world seems to be glaringly obvious. There is likely to be a somewhat recalcitrant attitude to certain situations, and the more those situations demand change, the more stubborn the individual may become, refusing point blank to change no matter the cost. And here lies one of the fundamental basics of Pluto, the willingness to self-sacrifice or even to die rather than to compromise, which is all very noble and honourable, but also can be seen as shooting oneself in the foot or self-sabotage. It should be emphasised that this behaviour pattern normally only emerges in cases where there have been decades of repression, primarily stemming from the first 7 years of life. But there will always be an essence of the potential for elimination in the character, which others may see as indelicate, too hard, or ruthless towards oneself or others. These are the people who would rather die than surrender, and giving up is just not an option. Bloody-minded is a descriptive term that comes to mind. Alongside this incessant and resolute compulsion to never give up, lay different qualities of energy that only become apparent as one grows and matures, not just in age, but also in self-awareness and intelligence. There's the constant desire to prove oneself as always getting stronger or bigger or better, and this needs to be understood for what it is, an almost obsessive primordial urge to purge, cleanse and purify oneself in what may appear to be an increasingly polluted world. One way of doing this, as referred to earlier, is to be ruthless and eliminative on one's meteoric rise forward. But then, the winner of the rat race merely proves to be the biggest rat. Alternatively, the Sun square Pluto brings a more subtle desire for refinement. Not so much the aesthetic, delicate or artistic, but certainly the focused, specific and effective. As a good friend voiced to me, from a personal perspective, once I set a goal in place, I find ways to accomplish that goal and find ways to solve or ameliorate the obstacles. I like to think I'm good at identifying what might be self-sabotage, and I can shift directions quickly, on a dime usually, but one is always limited when assessing oneself. I've been told numerous times that I am clinical and on the money at evaluating people's actions and motivations. This position can get to the very bottom of what is going on, and by acting in a dispassionate and clinical way, it can save lives and favourably alter potential futures, albeit in perhaps not quite as gently a way as others might prefer. There will always be an innate urge to act and to do something, and if this primal energy wave can be surfed and then subtly channeled, then the individual will become a master at what they do. The ability to understand all types of manifest situations through increasingly refined highs and lows can manifest in detailed understanding of all types of criminology, psychology of a difficult sort, or any type of forensic or scientific investigation, particularly at the invisible level. In itself, this aspect does not bestow psychic ability, but it does give a deep internal sense of simply knowing that can be summarized as gut feel. And if this can be both recognized and then consciously worked with, the individual will always be seen as having a clinically good judgment of character. There you go, folks. Sun square Pluto from my new book, The Law of Pluto. And bearing in mind we've got Pluto square Sun square Pluto over the coming 2 or 3 days and into the eclipse, I just thought it'd be a nice little tidbit for you. Enjoy the day. Bye.